Amazing grace, a phrase so commonly recognized, yet few know the profound story behind it. This timeless hymn has touched hearts across generations, but what secrets lie within its history? Join us as we unravel the mystery of Amazing Grace, a tale of redemption, transformation, and hope. Our journey begins in the late 18th century in England. The hymn was born from the life of John Newton, a former slave trader whose turbulent past was marked by pain and conflict. Newton's story is not just one of sin, but of miraculous transformation. Newton began his journey at sea at a young age, but it was not the adventure he had hoped for. He became heavily involved in the transatlantic slave trade, a decision that would haunt him for years. Yet, as fate would have it, one fateful night in 1748, a violent storm threatened to sink his ship. In that moment of desperation, Newton cried out to God for mercy. It was a plea born from fear, yet it marked the beginning of his spiritual awakening. Against all odds, the ship survived, and so did he, forever changed. Following this life-altering event, Newton began to reflect on his actions and the impact of his past life. He eventually renounced the slave trade and dedicated himself to ministry. It was during this transformative period that he penned the words to what we now know as Amazing Grace. The hymn's message of grace and redemption resonates deeply, speaking to all who have struggled, fallen, and found their way back. But the story doesn't end there. After its creation, the hymn remained relatively obscure until the 19th century, when it began to circulate within American churches, particularly in the African American community. Its powerful themes of hope and resilience found a home within the hearts of those who faced oppression and inequality. Throughout history, Amazing Grace has been a symbol of liberation, echoing through the struggle for civil rights. Its message served as a balm for wounds and a rallying cry for justice. The hymn became a source of strength, entwined with the narratives of countless individuals seeking freedom. Today, Amazing Grace is one of the most covered songs in history, transcending genres and cultures. From classic renditions to contemporary interpretations, its ability to heal and inspire remains unmatched. But why does it resonate so universally? Perhaps it is the hymn's raw honesty, the acknowledgement of our flaws and the promise of forgiveness. It teaches us that no matter how far we stray, there is always a path back to grace. As we reflect on Amazing Grace, we are reminded of its legacy, a powerful reminder that redemption is possible for all of us. From the storm-tossed sea to the heights of hope, this hymn continues to inspire, uplift, and unite. Join the journey of faith and redemption. Like and follow for more stories. Currently the VO is 478 words long. Please expand it to be 780 words long. The story of Amazing Grace is not just about a song, but about the profound transformation of a man who found his way from darkness to light. John Newton's early life was fraught with hardship and moral conflict. Born in 1725, he was pressed into naval service at a young age, experiencing the harsh realities of life at sea. His involvement in the slave trade began as a means of survival, but it soon became a source of deep regret and inner turmoil. The inhumane conditions and the suffering of the enslaved people weighed heavily on his conscience, even as he continued to participate in the trade. The turning point came during a perilous voyage in 1748, when a violent storm nearly capsized his ship. In a moment of sheer desperation, Newton cried out to God for mercy, a plea that would mark the beginning of his spiritual awakening. Miraculously, the ship survived the storm, and Newton emerged from the ordeal with a newfound sense of purpose and faith. This experience led him to re-evaluate his life and the choices he had made. Over time, he renounced the slave trade and dedicated himself to a life of ministry, seeking to atone for his past sins. It was during this period of reflection and transformation that he penned the words to Amazing Grace, a hymn that would become a testament to his journey of redemption. The hymn's message of grace and forgiveness resonated deeply with those who heard it, offering a sense of hope and solace to all who had struggled and fallen. As the hymn spread, it found a special place within the African American community, where its themes of liberation and resilience struck a powerful chord. During the civil rights movement, Amazing Grace became an anthem of hope and a rallying cry for justice, echoing through the marches and protests of the era. Its message of grace and redemption provided strength and comfort to those who fought for equality and freedom. Today, Amazing Grace continues to inspire and uplift people from all walks of life, transcending cultural and musical boundaries. Its timeless message of forgiveness and hope speaks to the universal human experience, reminding us that no matter how far we may stray, there is always a path back to grace. From its humble beginnings to its place as one of the most beloved hymns in history, Amazing Grace remains a powerful testament to the enduring power of faith and redemption. As we reflect on the legacy of Amazing Grace, we are reminded of the transformative power of grace and the possibility of redemption for all of us. Join us on this journey of faith and redemption, and let the story of Amazing Grace inspire you to find your own path to grace. Like and follow for more stories of hope and inspiration. Thank you for joining us on this journey.